This man just slapped his own fiancée in public, all because she ignored his warnings and humiliated the one woman he's desperate to hire. She can't wrap her head around it. Her fiancé is turning on her over some fired employee. Little does she know, this woman's true identity is the very lifeline she's been searching for. Our story begins back when our heroine was the office's unofficial mascot. A veteran employee tells the new guy that she never actually works, but as long as she's in the office, business booms. For instance, a coworker helps her grab a package, and bam, he immediately lands a massive deal and becomes the top salesperson. But this peaceful life is shattered by the arrival of the entitled heiress. As the new boss, she's ready to make her mark. She immediately goes on a firing spree to clean house. She even chews out an employee who pulled an all-nighter just for having breakfast at his desk. He tries to explain, but she just accuses him of being inefficient and fires him on the spot. Soon, she turns her attention to our heroine, who's openly playing games with her headphones on. She marches over, rips off the heroine's headphones, and fires her without a second thought. Our heroine thinks she's ridiculous and reminds her she doesn't have the authority, but after checking with HR, the entitled heiress is shocked. This slacker is making a whopping $88,000 a month. She immediately assumes they're having an affair, making her even more determined to fire our heroine. Our heroine tells her she better check with the chairman first, and her coworkers all chime in, begging for her to stay. Right in the middle of all this drama, she gets a call from her mom, saying her dad is cheating. And the gift he bought for his mistress? $1 million jade necklace, identical to the one our heroine is wearing. The entitled heiress absolutely loses it. She storms over, slaps our heroine, and rips the necklace away. She's dead certain that our heroine is the other woman destroying her family. Our heroine explains it was just a company bonus for outstanding contributions, but the heiress doesn't believe a word of it. She even threatens the other employees, anyone who sticks up for the heroine will be fired too. Seeing how delusional she is, our heroine can't even be bothered to explain anymore. But the heiress isn't done. She orders HR to blacklist our heroine from the entire industry. Our heroine just coldly warns her, "You'll regret this," and then walks away without a care in the world. However, the second our heroine leaves, the company's bad karma hits hard. A $10 billion deal that was a sure thing suddenly falls through. The client has straight up blocked her. Next, the company's system gets hacked, and all their trade secrets are stolen. Then the water heater in the break room explodes, throwing the whole office into chaos. And to top it all off, a short circuit plunges the entire company into darkness. Completely overwhelmed, she learns from a headhunter about a legendary consultant named Lily who just left her job. The heiress doesn't believe in that stuff at first, but a constant stream of bad news sends her into a panic. She finally breaks down, crying and begging the headhunter to get her this master consultant, no matter the cost. Meanwhile, our newly unemployed heroine is flooded with high-paying job offers. One email, signed Little E, is a desperate plea for help, humbly describing how cursed their company is. Our heroine is amused and decides to meet this unlucky soul, but when they meet at the coffee shop, the entitled heiress is petrified. The master consultant is our heroine. Our heroine is just as confused. The pathetic person from the email is none other than the entitled heiress. Once the shock wears off, the heiress explodes with rage, convinced our heroine set this whole thing up to mock her. Just then, she gets a call from her father, the chairman, telling her not to offend the heroine under any circumstances. Now, she's even more convinced our heroine is her dad's mistress and that this is all just a big conspiracy. She flips the script, accusing our heroine of stealing company secrets and causing all the problems. Faced with this wild accusation, our heroine just scoffs, not even bothering to engage with the insanity. At that exact moment, the rival CEO, Lu Yenji, gets word that our heroine has left her job. In a flashback, we see our heroine comforting a young man, devastated after missing an interview because of the rain. She smiles and tells him, "No big deal. I got this." The words are barely out of her mouth when the downpour suddenly stops and the sun breaks through the clouds. The flashback ends. The CEO immediately orders all his top executives to go with him and personally recruit her. Just as the entitled heiress is about to call security, the CEO and his entourage arrive. He pulls our heroine behind him and warns the heiress, "You so much as touch her, and you'll see what happens." Turns out, the CEO was the young man from 7 years ago. Her one piece of advice changed his life, helping him build his business empire. And now, he's brought his entire executive team to repay that debt with the grandest gesture possible. He makes her an insane offer on the spot, 30% equity in his company, plus an $8 million annual salary. This move leaves the entitled heiress completely stunned. She thinks the CEO has lost his mind. She refuses to give up, continuing to slander our heroine as a corporate spy. The CEO isn't having it. He warns her that if she says one more word, he'll sue her for defamation. The heiress has a total meltdown, pointing at our heroine and screaming horrible insults. Having had enough, the CEO does what we saw in the beginning. He slaps her across the face. After the storm passes, our heroine playfully lists her lazy work demands, like sleeping and playing games on the clock. To her surprise, the CEO agrees to everything. He'll even buy her a bed for the office and play games with her. Satisfied with his sincerity, she accepts the offer on the spot. The queen has returned. The entitled heiress is fuming. Her plans for an arranged marriage with the CEO have just gone up in smoke. Her assistant snaps her out of it, reminding her that the top priority is finding the real master Lily to save the company. And right on cue, a man named Qian Lily happens to walk in to apply for a security guard job. Because his nickname is also Lily, the desperate for a savior heiress's eyes light up. Just then, an employee runs in yelling that the company's factory is on fire. The imposter is baffled by the heiress's enthusiasm, wondering if she's fallen for him or something. The heiress offers him $60,000 a month and hires him as her assistant on the spot. The imposter was only hoping for $3,000. Faced with a $60,000 salary, he nearly faints from joy. The heiress immediately grabs her new master and rushes to the factory fire. Over on the other side of town, the moment our heroine agrees to join, the CEO's company stock skyrockets. To celebrate, the CEO takes her to buy a luxury car as a signing bonus. While they're there, a news report comes on about the massive fire at the heiress's factory. Our heroine has a good heart. Hearing there are casualties, she immediately runs out to help. And as she runs towards the fire, the sky suddenly opens up in a torrential downpour. The fire is extinguished instantly. The CEO's team is absolutely floored, calling her a literal miracle worker. The tardy entitled heiress and the imposter arrive just in time to witness this magical scene. Without a second thought, the heiress gives all the credit to the master standing beside her. The imposter is confused at first, but then realizes what's happening and just goes with it, taking all the praise. She completely forgets our heroine said something similar, putting all her faith in this phony. She decides to bring her master to the next day's land auction to crush the CEO's company. To show her sincerity, she orders her assistant to get him a Rolls-Royce as his personal car. The imposter is overwhelmed. Seeing the heiress hanging on his every word, he starts daydreaming about marrying into the family. However, just as the heiress thinks she's found her savior, a call from her father makes her blood run cold. The $30 million crown jewel is sliced open, revealing a worthless piece of rock. Just minutes earlier, she'd smugly blown the company's last dime to outbid everyone for it. But what she doesn't know is that a worthless scrap rock the good luck charm casually picked just revealed a jaw-dropping imperial green jade. This whole showdown between the real and fake good luck charm all started a few days ago at an auction. Our story kicks off with the entitled heiress lying to her father on his hospital bed, denying she ever fired our heroine. She uses her lies to win his trust and seizes control of their latest real estate project. The chairman is only confident because he thinks the good luck charm is still on their side, guaranteeing their success. But he has no idea she's already been fired and is now working as an assistant for his rival, the CEO. At the auction, the entitled heiress corners the CEO, hoping to win him over with a marriage alliance, but gets publicly humiliated instead. The CEO coldly tells her she doesn't meet a single one of his standards, leaving her completely shamed. To save face, the entitled heiress brings in her trump card, the imposter, a fake good luck charm named Lily. Our heroine finds this odd. Her English name is also Lily, but she's being publicly mocked by the entitled heiress. She kindly warns the entitled heiress that this woman is bad news, but her advice is completely ignored. Soon, the auction begins. First up is a piece of prime real estate everyone is fighting for. The imposter keeps egging her on, telling her to buy the land no matter the cost. The entitled heiress is completely hooked. Ignoring her assistant's pleas, she just keeps frantically raising her bid. Finally, she jacks the price up to $1.2 billion, a number that shuts everyone else down. But right then, the good luck charm gets a bad feeling and tells the CEO to back out. Immediately, without a second thought, the CEO trusts her gut and pulls out, letting the entitled heiress take the prize. Next up is a plot of wasteland in the east that literally no one wants. But our heroine's eyes light up. She senses this land is special and tells the CEO to buy it. Without another word, the CEO jumps the bid from a starting price of $10 million to $100 million. The entitled heiress and everyone else look at him like he's crazy for spending $100 million on a barren plot. And just like that, the CEO easily snags the unwanted land for $100 million. The second the auction ends, everyone crowds around the entitled heiress, showering her with so much praise she's practically floating. But bam! The very next second, her assistant rushes over in a panic. They've discovered an ancient tomb on the land. Her $1.2 billion investment is gone. Just like that. The entitled heiress is so stunned she can barely stand. The imposter who caused all the seas things have gone south and immediately tries to make a run for it. But it gets worse. Another piece of news drops that pours salt on the entitled heiress's wound. The wasteland the CEO bought? Turns out it's sitting on a hot spring, worth $1 billion. This 1-2 punch of bad news sends the entitled heiress over the edge. She has a complete meltdown on the spot. The guests immediately switch sides, now fawning over the CEO and the good luck charm, calling them a match made in heaven. Later, the entitled heiress furiously tracks down the imposter, catching her just as she's trying to skip town. Just then, her assistant brings her a piece of news, the company's last and only lifeline. A $10 billion client is willing to give them one more chance, on one condition. They have to impress him at the Stone Gambling Gala. The entitled heiress decides to trust the scammer one last time, offering a massive reward for her to join the event. Meanwhile, she blames all of her failures on our heroine, her hatred growing more intense by the second. On the other side, the CEO also invites the good luck charm to the gala to compete for the huge contract. At the gala, rivals meet again. The CEO kicks things off by offering the client a 50% profit share. Desperate to secure the deal, the entitled heiress actually begs the CEO to drop out, but he refuses again. The client decides to settle it. Whoever can cut the more valuable jade from a raw stone wins the billion-dollar contract. The imposter comes up with a brilliant idea. Just follow our heroine and steal whatever stone she chooses. Soon enough, the good luck charm stops in front of the crown jewel of the shop, a stone priced at $10 million. Seeing her chance, the entitled heiress swoops in. She declares she's buying the stone, sparking a bidding war. The imposter keeps hyping her up from the side, insisting the stone is a guaranteed winner. In the end, the entitled heiress blows the company's last emergency funds, snatching the stone for $30 million. The CEO, trusting our heroine completely, signals for her to let it go. Afterwards, the good luck charm calmly picks a random stone from the scrap pile and says she'll take that one. Meanwhile, the chairman sees a news report from his hospital bed about our heroine helping his rival secure the hot spring project. He finally realizes his daughter played him for a fool and becomes so enraged he tries to discharge himself on the spot. Back at the gala, it's time to cut the stones. All eyes are on the entitled heiress's prized possession. The stone is cut, and while it's green, something's not right. The smile on her face freezes. After a quick look, the expert shakes his head. It's just a low-grade, nearly worthless piece of jade. The client confirms it. The stone is worth $300,000 at best. The entitled heiress realizes she's lost nearly $30 million. The company is ruined. She collapses to the floor. It's only then that our heroine puts two and two together. This imposter has been using her name and reputation all along. The imposter is still trying to talk her way out of it, saying the CEO's scrap rock is even more worthless. When it's the scrap rock's turn, everyone scoffs, treating it like a joke. They're sure it's a dud. The entitled heiress figures that even if she lost millions, at least she can still win the bet. A smirk returns to her face. But against all the doubters, the good luck charm remains perfectly calm and insists on cutting the stone. The entitled heiress impatiently urges the cutter to hurry up. She can't wait to see our heroine humiliated. But as the saw comes down, the entire hall falls dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. A blinding green light flashes. The worthless scrap rock has revealed a priceless imperial green jade. The odds of this are 1 in a million. Everyone's jaws are on the floor. The entitled heiress's smile freezes on her face, her eyes filled with nothing but pure, unfiltered despair. The client is overjoyed. He immediately declares that the $10 billion contract belongs to the CEO. And not just that, he wants to upgrade the deal to a 20-year strategic partnership agreement. The entitled heiress has lost everything. A call comes in, the company's out of money, and the employees have all quit. Utterly defeated, she blames it all on our heroine. Just as she lunges, the chairman arrives on the scene. To win her back, the chairman offers a staggering 51% of his company's shares. The outrageous offer leaves their business partner completely floored. But her answer deals him the final, crushing blow. She chose the man who truly believed in her, not a controlling stake in a company. And all of this started with a corporate takedown. Because they wronged our heroine, the CEO's company vows to bankrupt them. Having caused this disaster, the entitled heiress takes her anger out on the new manager. But the manager isn't scared. In fact, he's looking at her like she's a total idiot. Turns out, he's just a security guard. The clueless heiress just got the wrong guy. Publicly humiliated, the entitled heiress raises her hand to teach him a lesson. Just then, her father arrives, demanding to know why she insulted the good luck charm. He furiously scolds her, saying she managed to ruin the company in just 3 days. The entitled heiress is still defiant, arguing the company's bad luck has nothing to do with her. Her dad finally roars the truth. It's all because she fired their human good luck charm. Turns out, he had warned his daughter from the start to treat their living lucky charm with respect. Even the veteran employees had warned her about the consequences of firing our heroine. But it's too late for regrets. He orders his daughter to go and beg for forgiveness. And so, the father-daughter duo barge into the CEO's company, only to be stopped by security. Ignoring everyone else, the chairman publicly begs the good luck charm to come back with him. As a show of sincerity, he gives a deep bow and offers her 20% of the company's shares. Seeing this, the CEO immediately counters, offering her 25% of his shares to stay. Backed into a corner, the chairman drops his ultimate bombshell, a 51% controlling stake. His daughter fiercely objects, but he knows only our heroine can save the company now. However, even with the temptation of becoming the new owner, our heroine still refuses. Compared to money, she values the CEO's unconditional trust far more. With her answer, the CEO immediately tells security to throw them out. It's only then that the client reveals a secret. Our heroine is the legendary good luck charm, Lily. After everyone leaves, the CEO sincerely thanks her for choosing him, and the mood turns romantic. Meanwhile, the ejected chairman stares at his company building in utter despair. One piece of bad news follows another, lawsuits from partners, a stock market crash. Under the barrage of blows, the chairman can't take it anymore and collapses on the spot. A few days later, the CEO asks our heroine out to a private dinner in front of the entire company. At the same time, when the entitled heiress's mother hears of her husband's death, she faints on the spot. The doctor delivers even more bad news. Her mother may never wake up again. This string of tragedies makes the entitled heiress focus all her hatred on our heroine. Her eyes filled with venom, she swears she won't let the good luck charm get away with Fies. So, she tracks down the CEO's mother and puts on a masterclass in crocodile tears. She twists the truth, framing our heroine as a homewrecker who destroyed her family. She adds that the very same woman is now manipulating her son for his company shares. Skeptical, the mother-in-law calls to check, and is shocked to discover it's actually true. That's all it takes. She's completely convinced by the heiress's lies and decides to intervene. The two then huddle together, hatching a malicious plan. During their date, the CEO casually mentions that his mom has also found a master, a mahjong master. But as soon as our heroine enters the restroom, she's cornered by the entitled heiress and the mother-in-law. The entitled heiress eggs on the mother-in-law to personally slash our heroine's face. But just as she's about to strike, she suddenly recognizes our heroine and cries out, "Master." In the next second, the mother-in-law does a complete 180, shielding her new master protectively. It turns out, a few days ago, the mother-in-law was short one player for mahjong and pulled in our heroine who was just passing by. Our heroine, who claimed to be a beginner, immediately wins with a legendary hand, leaving the whole table stunned. After that, our heroine leads the mother-in-law on an epic winning streak, dominating the table. By the end of the game, the mother-in-law is in complete awe and immediately asks to become her student. Back in the present, the mother-in-law finally realizes she's been played. The good luck charm then clarifies that the rival company went bankrupt due to the heiress's own failed investments. With the truth revealed, the mother-in-law is furious. How dare the heiress trick her into hurting her own master? Pressed for evidence, the entitled heiress has none and starts to panic. Just then, a voice comes from the doorway. It's the CEO, looking for his date. Cornered and desperate, the heiress completely snaps and lunges at our heroine with the blade. The mother-in-law instinctively shoves her master aside, causing the heiress's blade to slice her own face. The CEO bursts in, ignores everyone else, and rushes straight to our heroine's side. As for the now disfigured heiress crying for help, he gives her nothing but an ice-cold stare. He takes his mother and our heroine, and walks away without a second glance. Afterwards, the mother-in-law, still shaken, gives her master a sincere apology. The CEO finally pieces it together and curiously asks his mom what's going on. When she learns her son is dating her own master, the mother-in-law is absolutely thrilled. She quickly makes herself scarce, ordering her son to escort his future wife home properly. In the car, the CEO apologizes profusely for the disastrous date. But our heroine just smiles, says she had a great time, and gives him a surprise kiss on the cheek. That one kiss sends the CEO completely over the moon. After the misunderstanding is cleared up, the CEO's company starts seeing explosive growth. Their resort project gets billions in deposits before construction even begins. And orders for their new material are booked solid for the next 10 years. His assistant ecstatically reports that the boss's net worth has broken into the global top 10. The CEO looks lovingly at the woman beside him. He knows this is all because of her. He makes a public announcement, appointing her as the group's honorary chairwoman, and adds that her position is even higher than his own as chairman. Having won in both business and love, the CEO now spends his days sweetly gaming with our heroine. But on the other side of town, the disfigured heiress has a complete breakdown in the hospital. Eventually, she finds the imposter from before, and raises a bottle. A man kicks the door wide open, only to find his girlfriend surrounded by 3 thugs. Turns out, just moments before, our heroine was abducted right from her own home. But they have no idea. She's a literal good luck charm. Anyone who messes with her gets hit with bad luck. And the mastermind behind all of this? The entitled heiress, driven completely mad by jealousy. The once glamorous entitled heiress, is now being publicly shamed on the street. The thugs around her chime in, mocking her ruined face. She blames every last bit of her misery on our heroine, the good luck charm. So she cooks up a twisted plan, convincing these thugs to kidnap our heroine. She even suggests filming the whole thing to completely destroy the good luck charm's reputation. And these morons, hearing the plan, get all excited and agree on the spot. Soon enough, the unsuspecting heroine is snatched right from her front door. Meanwhile, the CEO arrives for their date but quickly realizes she's gone completely off the grid. He spots a phone on the ground, picks it up, and realizes it's his girlfriend's. The man instantly puts it all together. He orders his men to launch a citywide manhunt. With a single command, a massive, citywide search is immediately underway. Meanwhile, our heroine wakes up and sees the mastermind herself, the entitled heiress. A camera is already set up, just waiting to film her complete and utter downfall. The entitled heiress has a crazed look in her eye. She wants the CEO to see his precious girlfriend, completely shattered. At this very moment, the CEO is frantic, anxiously waiting for news from his team. Finally, his men send the location. The CEO slams the gas pedal and races over. But back in the warehouse, a thug approaches her, only to slip and fall flat on his face. Then another one bites the dust. Not a single one of these guys can even get close to her. Our heroine just smirks, and tells them that anyone who touches her is gonna have some seriously bad luck. Furious and humiliated, the entitled heiress unties her and forces our heroine to swallow a pill. Facing the approaching thugs, for the first time, a hint of fear appears on our heroine's face. The thugs close in with sinister grins, while the entitled heiress excitedly records everything. In desperation, she closes her eyes and screams her boyfriend's name. But of all times, the CEO, on his way to the rescue, gets stuck in a dead-stop traffic jam. So, get this, he straight up trades the keys to his luxury car with a stranger for their electric scooter. For the woman he loves, the CEO pulls a real-life Fast and Furious on a tiny scooter. Back in the room, the thugs lose their patience and decide to rush her all at once. Just then, the door is kicked open. The CEO roars, "You're asking for it." His bodyguards swarm in behind him, instantly taking control of the entire scene. The thugs immediately drop to their knees, begging for mercy, and throw the entitled heiress under the bus. The entitled heiress has a complete meltdown, screaming about why our heroine always has better luck than her. The CEO ignores her, his eyes filled with concern, as he walks toward his terrified girlfriend. He gently scoops her up in his arms and carries her away from the mess. The next morning, a call comes in from the CEO's mom, asking what happened. But our heroine starts talking in her sleep, leading to a major misunderstanding from her future mother-in-law on the other end. The mother-in-law is over the moon, and tells them to bring her new daughter-in-law home for lunch. When our heroine wakes up and finds herself in bed with the CEO, a shriek echoes through the room. Realizing his mom totally misunderstood, our heroine buries her face in her hands, wanting to just disappear. At the family dinner, the mother-in-law is so welcoming that our heroine is almost overwhelmed. When asked about her family, she admits that she's an orphan. Hearing this, the mother-in-law's heart goes out to her. She holds her hand and says, "From now on, this is your home." And wouldn't you know it, one of the parasite relatives calls, trying to force her into a blind date. Our heroine says she already has a boyfriend, but her aunt doesn't believe her and hangs up. Left with no choice, she asks her CEO boyfriend for help to go and crash the blind date. But on the way, the CEO gets his shirt dirty, so he tells her to go on inside first. The moment she enters the private room, she's cornered by her greedy aunt and scheming cousin. And sitting with them is none other than her blind date, the incredibly sleazy suitor. Our heroine lays her cards on the table, telling him she has a boyfriend and wants him to back off. but her cousin just hypes up the sleazy suitor, telling her to just marry him for the money. The aunt chimes in too, saying he was a hand-picked, perfect match. Having had enough, she exposes them for stealing the settlement money from her parents' death. She lays down a final warning: if they push her again, she won't hesitate to cut all ties. Seeing the deal is about to fall through, the sleazy suitor threatens the cousin that her manager position is on the line. To save her job, the cousin pathetically begs our heroine to sacrifice herself for her sake. The sleazy suitor drops the nice guy act and orders his men to grab her. In a panic, she drops her boyfriend's name, the CEO, hoping to scare them off. But they all burst out laughing, saying the CEO isn't interested in women and would never fall for someone like her. The cousin even snatches her phone, cutting off her last hope. He boasts arrogantly that not even God himself could save her today. The words barely leave his mouth when the CEO bursts in and coolly asks who dares to touch her. The once arrogant sleazy suitor is now so scared his knees give out, and he collapses to the ground. He desperately kowtows, wailing that he had no idea she was your woman. The CEO's eyes are ice cold. He declares on the spot that his company is bankrupt. Seeing their golden ticket gone, the parasite relatives turn to our heroine and start begging. But her heart has turned to stone. She tells them resolutely that they are done. Forever. The CEO pulls her close, warning the family to never bother her again. With no one left to leech off of, the family of parasites immediately starts turning on each other. After they leave, the CEO comforts his heartbroken girlfriend, telling her that his family is her family now. Deeply moved by his words, she gently rests her head on his shoulder. The next second, he proposes, promising to love and cherish her for the rest of his life. But she playfully rejects him, saying he hasn't even properly confessed his love yet. The CEO just smiles lovingly, promising to show her a gesture so grand she can't refuse. Soon, a spectacular fireworks show, arranged just for her, lights up the entire night sky. Beneath the dazzling display, the CEO pours his heart out, and she emotionally says yes. Now that they're official, our heroine's good luck powers send the CEO's company profits through the roof. Real estate, investments, high-tech, every single department reports unprecedented breakthroughs. Thanks to this wave of good fortune, the CEO's net worth skyrockets, landing him in the Forbes top 10. From then on, the two of them live a sweet life, successful in both business and love. But their happiness is short-lived. One day, our heroine, now pregnant, suddenly collapses in terrible pain. A mysterious old man passing by takes one look and sees she's at risk of a miscarriage. And you won't believe it. A bystander recognizes him as the legendary miracle doctor, a master OBGYN who retired years ago. The CEO drops to his knees on the spot, begging the doctor to save his wife and child. The miracle doctor agrees to help. 6 months later, our heroine successfully gives birth to a pair of healthy twins. And so, the new family of 4 embraces happily, bringing our story to a perfect end.